brought us a 91 or 92 NSX?
It's a 91.
What
91
was the first
NSX.
year of the NSX?
In this country, 91.
Oh, so this is first generation.
This is the first year.
Yeah.
And you guys, I thought this was your personal car, but this is Edmund's car.
Exactly.
And you're doing like a test on this vehicle because there's a lot of people that are interested in buying a used version of this car.
Yeah, we have a long-term road test blog where we have about 24 cars. Most of them are new, but we like to spice it up with a used car that people think's pretty cool once in a while. And the readers really ask for this NSX.
These cars, you said off camera you spent about 33 for this car.
Yeah, right.
It looks utterly cherry.
It's in good shape.
How many miles does it have on it?
When we got it, it was about 46,000, and right now it's about 52.
And what did these things sticker for in 91? Were they 50s to 60s?
60,600 is the
In
base
91,
price.
but
In
toward
91 was
toward-
a pretty
they
good
got-
price.
Toward
Yeah,
the
that
end
was-
of the
that was good money.
toward the end of its life cycle, like 03 or something, these cars were like 80-something thousand. They were really
Yeah,
starting
they
to
got
get pretty
up there.
pricey.
They went to 2005, believe it or not. I
Yeah.
was kind of
They
surprised.
were always right up there, if not even a little bit past the 911 price-wise, right?
There
I mean,
were
depending
definitely,
on
there were
what
definitely
911.
911s you could get cheaper than this.
Well,
but
yeah.
I asked Dan
also
to bring
more.
this car in, Adam, because this is the only supercar that, technically a supercar that had 15-inch wheels in the front and 16 in the back.
Yeah.
And I know you like the small,
I
tiny. You
know,
don't
I
like the big 20-inch wheels.
I like the bigger in the back and smaller in the front
Yeah.
thing. And obviously the mid-engine part of it. I think it's a great looking car. I've driven them before. I was impressed by the shift, the
Absolutely.
linkage and the shifting sometimes. The engine's transverse mounted,
Yep.
and sometimes the shifting is a little rough
Yeah.
in that department,
Not in this
especially
case.
back in
Yeah.
91, but it worked. So what would you tell someone who is thinking about buying an NSX? Are there some years to stay away from? Are they have clutch problems? Are they notorious for? When do we need to change the timing belt?
Yeah,
Because
is
I'm
it
guessing
leaking
there's a
anything?
belt in there.
At the end of the day, you're talking about a Honda product, so even those things aren't terribly difficult to deal with, even if you
Right.
have to.
Right.
You get into T-tops later on, and they're
Sure.
standard, and if
Sure.
you don't like T-tops, and you like a little structural rigidity, you probably want to stay with the earlier cars.
Right.
Later on, they got rid of the pop-up headlights in the 2002
Right.
range, I think, and put in
Right.
fixed headlights.
Yeah.
And the manual, this car has manual steering, so you might have seen me, muscling it around to get it in position here. Later on, they go to electronic power steering, and
They were offered an automatic at some point.
there's an automatic, a 4-speed automatic. This is a 5-speed manual. There was a 6-speed manual later on.
And these bodies are aluminum, so don't wreck them because
the
they're a little
aluminum body,
pricey.
aluminum chassis underneath the unibody. It's all kind of the same, like a lot of cars today.
Especially for its time, a really, really nice cockpit.
Oh yeah, and the visibility, back
Yeah.
in the early 90s and late 80s, Honda was real good about very low
Yeah.
belt line, lots of glass. I mean, it's like you're sitting in a fighter jet
And
here.
you were saying in the studio before, it's just over 3,000 pounds. It's about 270 horsepower. Have you done testing on it again? Have you pulled some numbers on it? Do
Yeah,
you know
we've
how quick it is?
recently tested it, and it was, I believe, 5.4 seconds 0 to 60.
Okay.
Maybe 5.5, and originally it's supposed to be about 5.1, 5.2. So it's a little older. And the tires that were originally spec'd out for it are no longer in production, so these are a different tire, and when we put these tires on, the performance went down a little bit, so there's not quite as much stick as the tires that were originally on it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still pretty damn
And
strong.
how about the braking? Does it perform to the cars like the 60 to 0? Does it perform?
That's probably the area where modern supercars do better.
Yeah.
They're right at 100 feet, sometimes 99, sometimes 105.
Yeah.
This
Anything
thing's
under like
at-
110. Just
Yeah,
seems
this thing's
phenomenal.
at about 120.
Okay.
So, the small wheels and the small rotors, they do exact a price.
Yeah, single piece.
It's really just about surface area at that point with
I'm
the braking.
I'm
Absolutely.
wondering if you could. Oh yeah, vented. All right, not cross vented, but vented.
Not drilled, but vented,
not cross
yeah.
drilled, but vented. I'm guessing you could drive this car to Vegas, and if you wanted, you could get 33 miles a gallon. I mean, if you wanted to drive
If
54
you babied
miles
it,
an
you
hour.
could probably get real close to 30. I know our average is 20 when we're just kind of driving it
So you have
pretty
you
hard.
have a
And
3-liter motor and a V6. You have not a lot of weight, pretty slippery.
pretty slippery.
And you could
In the
drive
later
this-
years, when they went to the 6-speed, probably even more so.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that would help.
You could drive this car and get some really good mileage, and no one would make fun of you for driving this car.
No, this car gets a lot of thumbs
I
up.
still
It's like
think it
driving
looks
a new
great.
GTR.
Like, it still looks like a
Yeah.
really cool car, and it's got great lines to it. Certainly, the small wheels give it a little bit of a dated look, but I think it works. You know, it's not like the wheel wells are huge and it's
Yeah.
got tiny tires. It just works proportionally.
Now, we have
Absolutely.
to fire it up for some unknown reason, but people
We
get
can do that.
upset if
All right.
I don't go stand.
It
Jump
does
in
have
there.
a stock exhaust.
I
though.
know, it's not going to sound like anything. You keep running
Well, and
into
it's a
this.
90-degree V8. That's one of the things about this
V6,
V6. Sorry,
V6.
it's a 90-degree V6 instead of the 60-degree that you would normally pick.
Is the suspension stiff, like when you drove it over?
No, not really at all. I mean, you got some sidewall here
Yeah.
on the 15s and 16s.
Whoops.
Woo!
You're gonna
All right, now
You're gonna
we're
get stabbed in
talking.
the eye with that. Antenna.
Yeah, I know. And it's got the trunk. It's a true mid-engine.
Yeah, you want to open that up?
Yeah, let's take a look at it while we're here.
It's got two hoods. I think they really missed out here. They could have left this off and done,
Yeah.
the visible engine
Gone
trick.
Ferrari. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is all stock.
Yeah. And he just got it like original owner kind of thing.
I'm not sure if there was two owners in there, but it was definitely a long time owner.
Right. Yeah, it was a VTEC. One of the earlier VTECs.
Yeah, it switches over at 4,800 RPM to the other cam profile.
Oh, really?
And then it's got a red line of $8,000, and there's titanium rods that help it do that. The lightweight titanium rods give it
Really?
the.
I didn't know it had titanium
Yeah,
rods.
it does.
And,
It's an expensive piece back in the
It's
day.
just and a lot of nice technology and a lot of bits. It's funny. It was like everything but the actual horsepower. But
Yeah.
even then, in '91,
At the time, it was all right.
yeah, at the time that was.
And
that
they
was
wanted this
all
to be
right.
drivable and
Right.
not,
Overheat.
cantankerous and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. And it's also representing Acura,
Right,
which
so
was a really new brand at the time.
you can find these cars between 25 and 40 out there in
Yeah, that's kind of the range.
good shape. Yeah.
And
You
you were
gotta-
saying when it was originally tested in 91, 92, 0 to 60, 5.1, that's quick back then.
Yeah, that was good.
Anything
Yeah,
in
that's
the
pretty
fives
quick
is
back
good. Dan, what do we do? Let's toss out a website for you and Edmunds and all that.
Well,
stuff.
there's Edmunds.com, that's
Mm-hmm.
Edmunds with a U, and InsideLine.com, that's
Mm-hmm.
where the long-term test blog is, where this car's featured.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can get to Facebook and Twitter from either of those. They have links. And then I've got my own Twitter account, Edmunds_test. I guess that underline thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Edmunds test with the underscore in there.
Dan, thanks for bringing us yet another vehicle, and
You're
come
welcome.
back anytime you
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
and bring something cool with you.
Thanks for having
So, until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dan Edmunds and Matt D'Andrea saying, keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.